Hello and welcome to Robin Hood's Nottingham. Now, you may have read in your morning newspapers that our greatest ever summer of sport has finally come to a close. Well, true enough, I've had to pull on a jumper. But other than that, of course, it's utter nonsense because as you and I both know, it's only stage 2. Ipswich in a heat haze and Britain in the middle of a cycling craze. A perfect storm then for the start of the Tour. Team Sky rolling out with the world champion and the Tour de France champion in their midst. They were spectators though as the four-man break got away. Rafa Condor's pugnacious, almost Texan Christian Haas targeting the Skoda King of the Mountains points, although the pimples of East Anglia barely registered on the altimeter. The other three were Johnny Clark from UnitedHealthcare, Niels Wittink of An Post Sean Kelly and Rony Martias of Saur Sojasun, who won 2 of the day's yodel sprints. Their lead grew to 7 minutes before the inevitable catch. Then Team Sky hit the front as they ran into the Norfolk Showground, setting up the world champion for a bunch sprint. Well, that was the theory anyway.
1.5 kilometres to go. Wiggins, you can just see in those yellow sunglasses that he's worn ever since he won the Maillot Jaune. Cavendish has gone down and there's a massive crash at the back there, and that's left Bradley Wiggins off the front. Now then into the finishing funnel, and just look at this. It's Boy Van Poppel leading this one out, trying to get the stage victory, but on the right it's a rider from Sky, so the main sprinter's on the floor, but Sky are still in the shake-up for victory, and that looks like Luke Rowe to me.
In the carnage and almost unnoticed, Bradley Wiggins hit the deck too. But all that left young Luke Rowe to ride out an opportunistic and memorable maiden professional win, which incidentally automatically puts him into the race lead. Here's the sharp end then of the general classification. Luke Rowe gets a 10-second bonus for winning. Martias picked up 7 seconds out on the road. The marvellously named Dutchman Boy Van Poppel picked up 6 seconds for his second place, with Endura's Russ Downing's third place handing him 4 seconds. Then there are 34 riders all on 10 seconds, including John Tiernanlock, Ivan Basso, Mark Cavendish and Bradley Wiggins. No time losses for them as the crash happened in the final 3K. Well, hot, fast and actually fairly damaging. A lot of riders losing quite a lot of time in the general classification. But let's start with the basics of that stage, Matt. Crash after crash, wasn't there really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very frenetic finale. With about 20-25k to go, the pace was hotting up, the brake was about to be caught, and there were several pinch points on the course, extremely narrow, and I believe that the riders went over a small humpback bridge. One of the riders clipped a low wall and brought half the field down. So then we had a group of 30 out front, and that group then, with a K to go, wiped out on the corner, which was the crash that took out Mark Cavendish and half the Garmin team.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Cavendish is phenomenal, isn't he? He got up, dusted himself down, and it looked for a while like he was looking for someone to blame, and perhaps in this case there wasn't really anyone. But the thing about him that I noticed is he crashes, but he never gets hurt, never breaks collarbones, never gets seriously injured.
It's quite incredible. I mean, the risk these sprinters take is phenomenal, and guys can get very, very seriously injured. But as you say, Cav just bounces. He gets up, he dusts himself down, very pugnacious, resilient, and again, a couple of days later he'll pick up a stage, so we can't write him off just yet. Glorious
weather. I have to say it's slightly drizzling here in Nottingham, but wonderful crowds. I mean, to rival anything that you could have seen in the Tour de France, actually.
Definitely. Well, we should be proud, really. I mean, the public have really taken cycling to the hearts over the last few months, especially on the back of Cav and Wiggo, but extremely impressive crowds. A bit overwhelming at times, actually. Lots and lots of GB flags.
Excellent stuff. OK, we've been out and about gathering a few opinions in the peloton about everything that went on yesterday. Hard to see from the television pictures, but what caused it, do you think?
Sharp corner, 100 degrees, it's always going to be sketchy around there, one line, but you do your homework, you know that, it's one line. Net tap guys come underneath, I'm on my train, we've got a lead out, we lean out 10k, and net tap guy come underneath, and if there's a barrier, he's come out and it's turned sharper, so he's just come up into me, if there's a barrier, I'd have hit the barrier and crashed. If I'd have gone off the road, I'd hit the gravel, crash, but he's just come up, and quick as I know, I didn't know it, he's come up, and our handlebars have locked, and boom, I've just gone over, so.